Today, Bryan Kohberger sat in his chair, virtually silent, no expression whatsoever. But one by one, the victims' families stood up and virtually tore him down, obliterated him. Kaylee Goncalves' sister, Olivia, told him, "Sit straight up when I talk to you." And then she called him a pathetic, delusional loser who'd be nothing in the light. Dylan Mortensen, the surviving roommate, broke into tears as she called him a hollow vessel, less than human. Steve Goncalves, Kaylee's dad, called him careless, stupid, a complete joke. And Xana Kernodle, stepdad, said it plain, go to hell. This was maddening, seeing him just sitting there today. Pathetic. The world finally can forget Kohberger after today. Not a word, just sat there. And Bryan Kohberger said absolutely nothing when he was given the chance to speak. The world will never forget the victims, and hopefully Bryan Kohberger will be forgotten. We're going to talk about all of that on the other side of this.
So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only a day. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's go for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is July 23rd, 2025. It is currently 3:59 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Thank you all so much for joining me. Good to see you all. I didn't get to do the Bryan Kohberger while it was live and all of that going on, but I did get to listen to it. I was working, and wow, they obliterated Bryan Kohberger today, and he had to sit there and take it. Did anyone actually think that he was going to say something? Did anyone actually think that his ego could not take it? The presser is a waste of time. You're talking about with the prosecutor and stuff. I listened to it when he was in the just a few minutes ago. I got to listen to it, but I had to. So I covered Bryan Kohberger whenever we didn't, mainly when we didn't know who Bryan Kohberger is. I am a person who likes to figure out mysteries, and I was all over Bryan Kohberger then, especially before and shortly after we know who he was. There would be 2,000 in my chat, and Justin, my other channel. It was a crazy. He says, I respectfully decline. There is nothing respectable about that sack of nothing. Nothing. I really think the star, in my opinion, was Olivia today. She just obliterated and made him get into his psyche. And that's what I loved. She ate him for breakfast. She really did. And she said, I don't want to give you, if you haven't seen it yet, she said, my sister would have kicked your ass if you hadn't came in the middle of the night. And I was like, girl power. Yeah. Go girl. So we're going to watch a little bit of it. I have 2 other lives scheduled for today, 1 cases that we are covering. Got some interesting things coming out on Jack and Lily Sullivan that I've been working on as well. So we'll be live again later this evening. I just wanted to kind of come live now and just talk about this briefly, because it's over. It's finally over. Now, of course, Bryan Kohberger will probably try to appeal. The judge today said, you might want to speak to your attorneys before you appeal, because that could hurt your plea bargain that you did. So I look forward for an appeal. He's never going to get out. Never going to get out. I mean, I loved just everything. And yeah. So let's watch a little bit of this. And yeah, I've got the presser, but it's really nothing to really write home about, in my opinion. We're gonna Steve, damn, he turned the podium straight to Bryan Kohberger today and let that mother chicken have it, y'all. Let him have it. And I am so glad he got that, because, they were silenced for so long. And I want to say, and I am so glad, because I was over at Chris McDonough's listening when all of this was going on. I was working, but I was listening, and I did type in chat a few times, and I said, like, shame on these people that haven't apologized to the family members, because there has been so many conspiracy theories around saying Kohberger is innocent and all of that. I never in God's green earth understood how someone could think Bryan Kohberger was even remotely innocent. You had to twist it 7 ways to Sunday in your head before you could even think that. Sorry, not sorry whatsoever. Listen, the man was a freak show to begin with, number one. Number two, look at him at when he was on his way to Pennsylvania when he was pulled over. He looked like he seen a ghost when he saw the officers. And number three, his white car. What's your alibi? Stargazing. And in the victim impact speech today, one of them said, "Yeah, stargazing when you got visual snow. Yeah, that'll work. That's logical. That's logical." The creepy ass photos that he took of himself. Oh, and yeah, he went back to the crime scene. Oh, yeah, he left the state, went across country, took a route that was not even the normal route you would go, and cleaned the hell out of his car. Also was throwing out his trash in little Ziploc bags, was found in his underwear when the FBI raided the place that morning. How the hell does people ever think that this man is innocent? So please, creators out there, apologize to this family, these families, please. There's nothing wrong with, voicing your opinion, I guess. But I don't see how you twisted it that much, number one. Number two, he's guilty. We can say Bryan Kohberger is guilty, charged, and sentenced. Guilty, life in prison, never getting out. We can say that. So now that the decision has been done, just apologize. So I appreciated Dr. Gary over at Chris's today speaking that, because I appreciated that, because I just don't know. I mean, there's people all over this platform that thinks that I just won't even say his name, that Kohberger's innocent, and it's not a chance. Not a chance. If we are in true crime, guys, if we are in true crime, we have to be always on the side of the victim. Always on the side of the victim. And you can say, well, yeah, I'm on the side of the victim, and that's why I wanted to get the right person. No. You are stretching it. You are stretching it more than Kohberger's ass is going to be stretched in prison. So let's just leave it right there. He did it. We know he did it. Get over it and apologize. You've been through too much. Thank you, Mini Panthers. There was mention of a second weapon. I would love info. Well, they are supposed to be releasing that. I have the website pulled right up. Soon as they release that, we'll do a live stream on it. I was one of the first who got the probable cause affidavit, and I read the whole fucking thing live. You can find it on my Justin for All channel if you want to view it. And it was crazy then. Thank you so much, Mini Panthers. Appreciate you very much. Good to see you, my dear. And Summer's Army, thank you so much as well, my love. Appreciate you. Love you, Justin and Mods. Good to see you as well, honey. Dylan did a wonderful job on her victim impact statement. She was able to convey what she, yeah. Yep. If you guys want to listen to this, we can listen to
being
this.
burglary. So we will have Bethany Funke's statement, and she has asked that her friend Emily Allant read that
Pointless.
All right, any objection to that? All right, very well.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll be speaking on behalf of Bethany, and so, yeah, here it reads.
I think Steve said that she was stabbed over 30 times. That she was stabbed over 30 times. That knife, you guys know how big that knife is, right? Unbelievable. What a demon.
My name is Bethany Funke, and I was roommates with Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan.
This girl,
I not only lost some of my best
this woman, I should say, and they have lived, these two surviving roommates have lived through so much. And listen, some things you just don't know someone's psyche at the time. And they are so young. They are so young. And people have shamed them, humiliated them, tried to say that they were involved in all of this stuff. Never, ever, ever have I thought that. Some things, especially with young kids nowadays, you're just not going to understand. You're just not going to understand. Sometimes there is no why. It just was. And I know that very lucky, she steps out and sees Bryan Kohberger and survives as well. You know what I mean? Like, God
friends,
bless
but
her.
I also lost a sister. Never in a million years would I have thought that something like this would have happened to my closest friends. I thought that we were going to wake up and go upstairs, see them and tell them how they had scared us and that they were going to tease us about how
They joked all the
we're
time.
constantly scaredy cats. And make jokes about it as we would go to Taco Bell like always. But sadly, that is not what happened.
This was a college house, right? It was known as the party house. They always joked on each other and all that. Alcohol
And
and
what
all
turned
that
out
stuff. So
to be my worst nightmare. When I first woke up
I
that
know.
morning,
I'd like
I
to
had no idea
knock
what happened.
his
I woke up around 7
clothes
with a
off
terrible
again.
toothache. So I called my dad, who is a dentist, and he asked what I should do. He told me to take Advil, so I did, and I went back to sleep. I was still out of it and still didn't know what happened. If I had known, I of course would have called 911 right away. I still carry so much regret and guilt for not knowing what had happened and not calling right away, even though I understand it wouldn't have changed anything, not even if the paramedics had been right outside the door.
And that's a very important thing. There was so much damage done to each of the victims. There could have been a surgeon in front of each of them, and it would have done nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I was so frantic that morning.
Look at his brow. He's got his brow like this. Son of a
Scared to
bitch.
death, not knowing what had happened. And when I made the 911 call, I couldn't even get out the words.
Bryan Kohberger, out of every, unaliver that's well known, we'll say, is to me one of the creepiest. One of the creepiest. He said, or one of the family members today said something like, "You're going to prison." They'll say it, "You're going to prison, but they're there to help you," which is exactly what he said to Maddie and Kaylee. That's exactly what he said. Can you imagine this SOB? You're a female, a male, anybody, and you're caught off guard in the middle of the night. He does, Lily. Caught off guard in the middle of the night, and this SOB is with a knife looking at you and saying, "Hi, I'm here to help you." No.
And from then on, I don't remember a thing. It was like my brain wiped that whole memory. That was the worst.
He was more, I mean, he's never been muscular, but he looked more strong back then as well. Now he just looks like a bag of, well, he's always looked like a bag of shit, but
Day of my life. And I know it always will be.
Asenia and Chris is Marlena.
While I was still in shock, trying to
Kids.
process the fact that my friends were truly gone, I had been attacked by the public. I was grieving, numb,
And let me tell you something. I said apologize to the families. Apologize to every survivor. All the survivors in the home, right? And the kids that showed up that day. And the kids who showed up that day and made the call. They did an interesting interview recently as well.
unsure of what had happened was even real. And at the same time, I was getting flooded with death threats and hateful messages from people who did not know me at all or know the dynamic of our.
I'm sorry, guys, I'll quit interrupting, but being as young as they are, seeing one of the killers, having 4 people slaughtered in your home at that age, trying to process that, and then people giving you death threats and saying you're guilty. Went hard on Dylan after BK was I was so angry. Wow. That's really sick. That's really sick. I mean, always, if you ever see me not on the side of the victim, email me or text me and be like, what the fuck? Right? If you're not in true crime and here for the victim, sometimes it is their own family members. Sometimes it's perfect strangers. But they are victims themselves. The family are victims as well. There is a lot of victims, a lot of hell that this man has put people through. A lot of people. soulless. He looks like a serpent. He looks like he should crawl on his belly. And to be honest with you, I'm with Steve on this. I wish there would have been a trial. But I wish he would have got the squad, to be quite honest with you. I can't think of anyone that deserves it more. I'll never forget the day it happened. I was live on air, and it was whenever they were digging up the back of Stacy Wandra and Sarah Wandra's home, and looking for Michael Vaughn. And I had got a message. I was speaking to sources in Michael Vaughn's neighborhood, and well, Stacy in their neighborhood as well. It's kind of catty-cornered, and getting information on what was going on, what they were digging up, and trying to get as much information as possible for the live while I was live. And one of my sources told me, he's like, there was just a college murder. And I said it on air. I said, there was just a college murder in Idaho. I said, what is going on in Idaho? And they said there's a lot of people that they didn't have any idea at that time, like it was just released. And I said it, and then it blew up. It blew up. Fuck those people. I don't get... Listen. Fuck them. Honestly. He deserves no compassion. He didn't spare any compassion. Remember that Canadian? Yeah. No compassion. He left no compassion to those girls and guys. None. The only people I have compassion for, other than the victim's family, the town, and all that, I do feel sympathy toward Bryan's family to a degree, because I don't think they should be, I don't know where they stand with their son, to be honest with you, but they're victims in a sense as well, right? They didn't choose this to happen. You know what I mean? So, but that's the, as far as anyone, for Bryan Kohberger, he can go to hell, rot in hell, rot again, back over him, and run again. Seriously, hell is not hot enough for that motherfucker. It's not.
Friendship. Social media made it so much worse, and strangers made up stories to entertain themselves. The media...
Hey, Uber, good to see you. Has anyone seen Rainbow? I hope Rainbow's okay. Justin, they failed to spot the warning signs. I mean, yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of people forget, that don't spot the warning signs, I mean, there's a lot of weird people out there as well that don't kill people. You know what I mean? There's a lot of weird people that just don't kill people as well. He was studying. So are the rumors they knew false? I don't know. I think that they knew. I think I don't think that they knew necessarily. I think that he had no priors, absolutely not. But I think that dad especially had it in his gut. His dad seems like an okay guy.
Harassed not just me, but also my family. People showed up at our house. They called my phone, my parents' phones, other family members' phones, and we were chased while I was still trying to survive emotionally and grieve the loss of my friends. I hated and still hate that they are gone, but for some reason, I am still here and I got to live. I still think
The
about this
dad
every day.
suspected
Why
for a
me?
long time.
Why did I get to live
I agree.
and not them? For
Hey,
the longest time,
Kaylee.
I could not even look at their families without feeling sick with guilt. I did not know what to say or what to do. I was terrified that my presence just made their pain worse.
Survival
And I
guilt,
was still
gotta be
here when their
terrible.
kid, their siblings and their friends, their loved ones should have been here instead. After everything happened, I was afraid to go into my own backyard or alone in my house. I was scared that the person who did this
I know.
would come for me next.
Oh my God. She's like, you're a failed rapper. Holy shit. Failed rapper. Can you imagine Bryan Kohberger being a rapper? Oh my God. Idiot.
I was always scared that the media would try to catch me at any moment of any day, even when I was just walking around my house. I made my parents close all the blinds during the day so no one could see me even in the slightest chance. I barely left the house, and when I did, I made sure I was never alone. I slept in my parents' room for almost a year. I made them double lock every door, set an alarm, and still check everywhere in the room just in case someone was hiding. And I still check my room.
I can't imagine. I mean, think of this. I know a lot of people are definitely scared of being alone at times or whatever. Can you imagine how these survivors feel when you can't, a lot of things our imagination creates. This happened to her.
Every night before, and I
victims.
double lock it. I have not slept through a single night since this happened. I constantly wake up in panics, terrified. Someone is breaking in or someone is here to hurt me.
Honey, I don't know what you mean by weird ads going on, darling. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, I don't know.
Or I'm about to lose someone else that I love. The fear never really leaves. For a long time, I could barely get out of bed, but one day I realized I have to live for them. They did not get the chance to keep living, but I do, and I will not take that for granted. So now every day I remind myself to live for them, and everything I do it with them in mind. I am still scared to go out in public, but I force myself to do things because I know that they would want me to keep living my life to the fullest. I am beyond blessed to still be here, and I refuse to take that for granted when they did not get a chance. Our house was not just a house, it was a home. It was where we laughed till we couldn't breathe, make meals, did crafts, binge watch reality shows, played games, and spent lazy days on the couch. It was movie nights, wine nights, morning debriefs, pranks, hot chocolate, cookies, and warmth. I will cherish those memories forever, and I will not let what happened erase how special our home was or how much those memories meant to me. Now I would like to share some bits and pieces of who they were.
Holy shit, guys. I'm going to play this. I pray that ABC doesn't knock me off. If it does, I'll come back. Y'all got to hear this. Credit goes to ABC. Come on, ABC. Oh, fuck. I just messed it up. I got to put the link in 1 second. Yo, guys, got to see this. Oh, my God. 1 second, y'all. ABC, they if you don't put their link in and all that, they get crazy. So full credit, ABC News. All right, link is provided in the description and through the chat. I will drop that as well. Y'all. 1 second. I want to give y'all a trigger warning. Trigger warning. I got to play a little music. Just the way it is. Give me 2 seconds. Here we go. Using this under the Fair Use Act of 1976 for commentary, news, criticism purposes, all of that. And I have to kind of change it up. So here we go.
Yeah, there was a couple of different occasions there, Kira, where Bryan Kohberger would come into the courtroom and he would immediately sort of address his mother and his sister Amanda, who were sitting right in the front. And that was often a greeting with a smile. The second time after break, he came back in, tried to address his mother again, sort of mouthed some kind of greeting. But then at the end, when it was all over, when he had been sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences, he was, sort of being scrambled around to get out of the courtroom, addressing his lawyers, and it was as if he was trying to, communicate with his mother in that moment. There was this other striking difference that stood out to me as well, Kira, as they were going through the sentencing, as Bill Thompson was showing the photos of each of the victims, people started crying. The people in the courtroom were sobbing. And I noticed that Bryan Kohberger's sister, Amanda, started to sink lower and lower in her chair. And when I looked over, I saw Kaylee Goncalves' sister, Olivia, who gave a fiery rebuke of Bryan Kohberger.
Listen.
As Bryan Kohberger's sister sank lower, Olivia sat straighter. Her spine was straight. It was like she was growing in strength and confidence throughout that.
She told him, sit right up. Sit up straight.
That moment. It was startling. It was shocking. The Goncalves family here is coming out. And do you guys want to come on? I'm on live TV right now. Do you want to come talk? Sure. It's been a busy day. We've really come to know each other over these last years. I'm live on. Do you want to join?
Sure.
Thank you for being here with me. We've talked a little bit about how you guys are learning a lot of information that you didn't know. Mm-hmm. I was a bit surprised by that.
Listen to this, guys.
How much you have invested in finding out the truth. You've had private investigators working with you. You have been diligent, as your kids have been diligent.
Since day one.
Is there anything that you want us to know moving forward in terms of this recent meeting that you had that revealed some information to you?
Honestly, I think that I don't know if it's going to be helpful, but America needs to hear it, that the details are far more horrific than anybody ever imagined. Far more horrific.
And we know Kaylee was a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And what the rumors about him treating female students differently, those were all confirmed.
And female cohorts?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and he was under investigation. That's all true. He wasn't fired. They said his funding was pulled, which is almost equivalent to being fired because you can't remain in the program without the funding.
He was worse to women. He had an anger toward women because of his own issues in his head.
But this guy was arrogant. He thought women were beneath him. So I thought it was fitting that Olivia just chopped him up in pieces.
She sure did.
Yeah, to say that.
Good for her.
Team was
Fuck yes.
women. Mm-hmm.
And the idea that had he not approached them in their sleep, the Kaylee,
She would have kicked your ass.
Yep. And she came up next, and I made eye contact with him, and he was enraged. He was just enraged. So, mission accomplished. We can move on now. We said what we needed to say, and hopefully, people understand where we came.
He says Bryan was enraged. Good. Get mad, mother chicken. Get mad. Look at this beautiful girl. God, that makes me want to cry.
Came from, and we fade back onto live back on the property, and
Look at
things
these
get back
girls.
to normal.
Moving on, though, you and I were just texting about how it's never really over.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, it's there's a sense that we can put behind us, and it's been a big piece that we haven't been able to put behind us for so long. So that big piece,
I know.
him getting shipped off to prison.
Badass move.
But with that did come a new can of open worms with the new stuff that we learned from the investigators. That is definitely going to take some time to process.
We'll be here.
God
when
bless
you wanna
him.
Talk about that, but take the time to process that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
What they told you in the presser. I think it was great for us to have.
Yeah, we were just discussing here a little bit about what
God
you
bless
learned from this
them.
meeting, and I brought up what Olivia said. She said she asked a number of very fiery questions directly to the defendant, to the convicted. And one of them was, what was the other weapon you used on my sister? And you said that it was much more horrific than we could imagine. But is there anything we know about that? And was Kaylee the only one to your knowledge?
Yes. Yeah, they
That had
said
a
that
different
the
weapon?
marks that she had was unique just to her. The other victims did not have that same striping marking pattern. So, yeah, they did confirm that. But they
A
also
stripy
confirmed,
marked pattern?
yeah, she had marks on her mouth. Another thing that I found was interesting was she was
Another weapon was used on Kaylee around her mouth. Yes. Yes. What was he? What is he doing? Like, what is he doing? It was like striping around her mouth. Oh, I wonder if that could be it. So he may have helped after. Yeah. I feel like he used the knife on her mouth. Like you'll never talk again or something.
stabbed over 30 times, but another thing that I found was interesting was she was stabbed over 30 times, but there was somebody who was stabbed more. We don't know who that is, but
30 times. She was stabbed over 30 times, but there was one that was stabbed more. Now, Bryan Kohberger, this was done quickly from beginning to end, right? Beginning to end was just, I can't remember, not long. I want to say it was like 14 minutes or something, maybe even less that. And I know none of us, I'm sure, watching has ever stabbed anybody, but it takes a tremendous amount of energy, right? A tremendous amount of energy to do something like that. And in my opinion, that is the only reason why the other two girls were spared. Yes, sense of soul. Yes, I can.
just to her. The
Hold
other
on.
About that, and was Kaylee the only one to
Trigger
your
warning.
knowledge?
Yes. Yeah, they
That
said
had a
that
different
the
weapon?
marks that she had was unique just to her. The other victims did not have that same striping marking pattern. So, yeah, they did confirm that. But they also
Stripy
confirmed,
marked pattern?
yeah, she had marks on her mouth. Another thing that I found was interesting was she was stabbed over 30 times, but there was somebody who was stabbed more. We don't know who that is, but
34 times.
yeah. So,
Kaylee was stabbed 34 times,
Yes.
yeah.
and there was someone else who was stabbed more.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just
So-
said, was Kaylee like the most? Because it seemed so excessive. And they said, no. And that was all they said.
So that other family, they'll if they want to share it, they can. If they want to keep it to their own, they can. We feel
Unbelievable.
when people hear how atrocious this behavior is, it helps expose him. And
Yes,
the more that he
Marla.
can be exposed, the better it is for us.
Unbelievable.
It's not easy to talk about these details of our daughter, you know, and I could see why a lot of families want to keep those private. I want to keep them private, but then on the other hand, I'm like, no, people need to know, like the monstrosity of this, like literally, like, yeah.
The judge called him a coward who slithered into 1122 King Road.
He slithered. I told you guys he looks like a serpent.
Yeah.
It's accurate. I think that he could have found some better words, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys coming on to talk with me. Thank you very much. There's a lot of people that want to talk to you guys here. Thank you, Steve and Christy. I'll move back over here. And
God
Kira,
bless
forgive me,
them.
I'm having some technical difficulties, so I'll put my IFB back in here. But
I
yeah, so
understand,
again,
Jen.
you just heard there, that's really new information, Kira, from Steve and Christy Goncalves, that their daughter, we now know, was stabbed 34 times that night, and that someone else was stabbed more. That gives you an idea of the brutality.
I mean, think about that. 30, I mean, imagine each of them being stabbed 30 times. Right? 100 and let's just say 125 times. 4 people. Overkill. Overkill. That is insane. Insane. Just unbelievable. They still have not released the documents yet. I just checked. If they release it, then we'll watch it. Or we'll read it.
As people and some of the memories that we shared. One of my favorite memories was Halloween, and we all went to Sigma Chi. But instead of partying, we just sat in an apartment, talking and laughing all night long. I do not think I've ever laughed that hard in my life.
You know that picture that they had taken, I think the day of or the day before, it's the one they always use in the press. It's like that picture was meant to be.
We did not care about the party. We were just happy to be with each other. Xana was 1 in a million. She was the life of the party. But she was also the kindest and funniest person I knew. Everyone loved her because she made everyone feel so loved. She was just someone you always wanted to be around, no matter the circumstance. One of my favorite days with Xana was when she laid on the couch, when we laid on the couch together all day watching movies and snacking. Or when she, Maddie, and I would go and get margaritas, chips, and salsa. She would also light up a room with her presence alone. Kaylee had the most beautiful, radiant smile. And she was so kind, but also one of the funniest people I've ever known. She loved playing little pranks. And she always had us laughing so hard that we could not breathe. She was so full of energy and life. I really believe that she could have ruled the world if she wanted to, and she would have been America's sweetheart. Ethan was the sweetest, most genuine guy. He was always smiling and always making other people smile too. Ethan was the kind of person you wanted around. He was so kind and easy to talk to, and just so fun. And the way he cared for Xana was truly something to admire. And really was proof that storybook love and true romances really do exist. It was not only obvious to me, but everyone that was around Ethan and Xana that they were absolute soulmates. Maddie was not only one of my best friends, but she was the older sister I would have always wanted. There was no one I looked up to or admired more than Maddie. She was truly a ray of sunshine, and everyone was drawn to her. She was so kind, loving, funny, fun, and passionate. She had the sweetest soul and wanted nothing but the best for everyone, and to love and show love to everyone. She took me under her wing and always made me feel so safe and included, and above all, loved and valued. She never failed to make me laugh or put a smile on my face. Still to this day, I am beyond grateful that she chose me to be her sorority little, and I thank God every day that I not only got to know her, but had her as one of my best friends. Honestly, I cannot pinpoint one favorite memory with Maddie because I have so many, and this would be a very long read if I did. But if some little memories with her that I cherish is when the two of us made a nice dinner and split some wine, or when we would binge watch Jersey Shore or Summer House. When we came up with a whole dance routine on Halloween and danced and sang all night, like no one was watching. All the late night walks home from going out, and just little shopping trips and so much more. I am beyond blessed that I had the chance to know each and every one of them. They changed my life in ways I would have never put into words. I hope that they are remembered for who they are and not what happened to them, because who they are were so beautiful, and they
That is possible, Mohawk. You got a point. Well, once his DNA is entered into CODIS, it's going to be entered into the CODIS, the system. It may link into other crimes. But I'm sure you think they've already... I don't know. No, they probably haven't done that yet, so... I don't see him doing... I don't know.
deserve to be remembered in the highest way. My heart breaks every time I go to text one of them, or how badly I wish I could see and hang out with them. And then I remember I cannot. I will never be able to again. But I still talk to them in my prayers every single night, and I always will. I wish more than anything I could hug them one last time. And I wish I could tell them how much I love them. And even though I cannot, I still tell them every night. I will keep living for them as long as I am lucky enough to still be here. And they were all truly one of a kind. And they will be in our hearts forever and always.
Thank you. And please convey to Bethany my appreciation for her courage, and I hope that she heals.
Next is Dylan Mortensen. We're asking for some accommodations for Miss Mortensen and that she be allowed to sit in my seat.
Sure.
This is Dylan.
Dylan, just take your time, all right?
Sorry. Thank you, Your Honor. What happened that night changed everything. Because of him, four beautiful, genuine, compassionate people were taken from this world for no reason. He didn't just take their lives. He took the light that carried it into every room. He took away how they made everyone feel safe, loved, and full of joy. He took away the ability for me to tell them that I love them and that I'm so proud of them. He took away who they were becoming and the futures they were going to have. He took away birthdays, graduations, celebrations, and all the memories that we were supposed to make. All of it is gone. And all the people who loved them are just left to carry that weight forever.
He didn't just take them from the world, he took them from me, my friends, my people who felt like my home, the people I looked up to and adored more than anyone.
You can feel her grief.
He took away my ability to trust the world around me. What he did shattered me in places I didn't know could break. I was barely 19 when he did this. We had just celebrated my birthday at the end of September. I should have been figuring out who I was. I should have been having the college experience and starting to establish my future. Instead, I was forced to learn how to survive the unimaginable. I couldn't be alone. I had to sleep in my mom's bed because I was too terrified to close my eyes. Terrified that if I blinked, someone might be there. I made escape plans everywhere I went. If something happens, how do I get out? What can I use to defend myself? Who can help? And then there are the panic attacks. The kind that slam into me like a tsunami out of nowhere. I can't breathe. I can't think. I can't stop shaking. All I can do is scream because the emotional pain and the grief is too much to handle. My chest feels like it's caving in. Sometimes I drop to the floor with my heart racing, convinced something is very wrong. It's far beyond anxiety. It's my body reliving everything over and over again. My nervous system never got the message that it is over, and it won't let me forget what he did to them.
Yes.
People call me strong. They say I'm a survivor.
Wow.
But I don't see what my new reality looks like. They don't see the panic attacks,
Yes.
the hypervigilance, the exhaustion, the way I scan every room I enter, the way I flinch at sudden sounds. They don't know how heavy it is to carry so much pain and still be expected to keep going, and that's because of him.
You can feel her pain so deeply. So deeply. Like, I can feel her pain probably out of all of the ones that spoke. Like, you feel it deep with her. Wow.
He stole parts of me I may never get back. He took the version of me who didn't constantly ask, what if it happens again? What if next time I don't survive?
You evil fucker, Bryan.
He may have shattered parts of me, but I'm still putting myself back together. Piece by piece, I'm learning how to live in this new version of life. It is not easy. It hurts, but I'm still trying. Still trying, and I'm not trying just for me. I'm trying for them, my friends. About a year ago, I had a dream about them. I got to say goodbye. I told them I won't be able to see you again, so I need to tell you goodbye. They all kept asking why, and all I could say was, I can't tell you, but I have to. When I woke up, I felt shattered and heartbroken, but also strangely grateful. Like maybe in some way that dream gave us the goodbye we never got. Still, no dream can replace them, and no goodbye will ever feel finished. He is a hollow vessel, something less than human.
Yes.
A body without empathy, without remorse. He chose destruction. He chose evil. He feels nothing. He tried to take everything from me. My friends, my safety, my identity, my future. He took their lives, but I will continue trying to be like them to make them proud. Living is how I honor them. Speaking today is to help me find some sort of justice for them. And I will never let him take that from me. He may have taken so much from me, but he will never get to take my voice. He will never take the memories I had with them. He will never erase the love we shared, the laughs we had, or the way they made me feel seen and whole. Those things are mine. They are sacred, and he will never touch them. I get to feel sadness. I get to feel rage. I get to feel joy even when it's hard. I get to feel love even when it hurts. I get to live. And while I will still live with this pain, at least I get to live my life. He will stay here, empty, forgotten, and powerless.
Dylan, thank you so much for your courage. I appreciate it.
Wow. That's too much. I want to do Steve, and then I want to do
Thank you so much.
one more. Watch him how he turns this. This is a badass power move. God bless
Your Honor, next
Dylan.
would be members from the Kaylee Goncalves
And shame on every one of you assholes who blamed her.
family. First will be her father, Steve Goncalves.
So sad, man. Hold on. I know it took Steve every ounce of self-control and then a band of angels to keep him from going to him. And whose uncle was it? I think it was someone's uncle. I thought he was actually going to go whoop Bryan Kohberger's ass.
Today, we are here to finish what you started. Today, you've lost control. Today, we are here to prove to the world that you picked the wrong families. The wrong state, the wrong police officers, the wrong community. You tried to break our community apart. You tried to plant fear. You tried to divide us. You failed. Instead, your actions have united everyone in their disgust for you. I just learned from these lead investigators, to their shock, they worked in an investigation and actually worked with Pennsylvania police officers and the federal FBI. You united everyone. Everyone was united after you. None of us are divided. We are united in our disgust and our love for these children. Today you have no name. Because when this all started, we all came together and we said, let's stop even talking about his name and just use initials. So even the media just calls you BK. That's all you are. Looking back when the police officers knocked on my door,
Power move.
told me what happened to my child, told me what happened to Maddie Mae, I don't think he was even out of the driveway before my kids turned around, looked at me and said, what do we do, Dad? I told them, you get to work. You get your ass to work. And we started calling, we started texting, we started emailing. And you know what? Within hours, we had your white car on the camera. We knew from the very beginning we had you. Police officers tell us within minutes, they had your DNA, like a calling card. You were that careless, that foolish, that stupid. Master degree, you're a joke, complete joke. But we took this disaster and we did what we could. We put everything online. We took our kids, we took our images, we took everything that they did, their videos, their photos, the girls' pranks, Ethan singing. We put it out there, we shared it with the world. And the world united. And all they ended up, when they talked about this case, is they talked about Kaylee Jade, Maddie May, Xana, and Ethan. Everything what these people meant to us, a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, we shared that with our community. Then we shared it with our state.
Steve said he was
We
pissed.
shared it with the country.
Good.
And eventually we shared it with the world.
Good.
The world's watching because of the kids, not because of you. Nobody cares about you. You're not worth the time, the effort to be remembered. In time, you will be nothing but two initials forgotten to the wind. No visitors, nothing more than initials on an otherwise unmarked tombstone. From this moment, we've all started. From this moment, we will forget you. We want to all leave in closing. One last thing. You picked the wrong family, and we're laughing at you on your trip to the pen. That will be today or tomorrow. I'll close with God bless all the men and women that worked on this case and all the hard work that you guys did. You guys allowed us to grieve and allowed us to get through this. The amount of work that you guys put together and the way that you guys put it together was beautiful. There was hard times to be expected, but thank you all. God bless.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next is Stephen Goncalves, Kaylee's brother.
Steven's actually gonna pass. I'm gonna go. Okay.
Olivia Goncalves.
Listen to
Kaylee's
this,
sister.
guys. Listen to this one.
Hello. I'd like to start by thanking the court for allowing me the time and opportunity to speak today. My name is Olivia, and I'm the big sister of Kaylee Goncalves, and I was blessed to love Maddie Mogen as a sister too. I'm not here today to speak in grief. I'm here to speak in truth. Because the truth is, my sister Kaylee and her best friend Maddie were not yours to take. They were not yours to study, to stalk, or to silence. They were two pieces of a whole, the perfect yin and yang. They are everything that you could never be. Loved, accepted, vibrant, accomplished, brave, and powerful. Because the truth about Kaylee and Maddie is they would have been kind to you. If you had approached them in their everyday lives, they would have given you directions, thanked you for the compliment, or awkwardly giggled to make your own words less uncomfortable for you. In a world that rejected you, they would have shown mercy. Because the truth is, I'm angry. Every day I'm angry. I'm left shouting at the inside of my own head everything I wish I could say to you. The truth about me is when I heard the news, I didn't cry. I listened for them. I promised them I would, that I would fight for them, that I would show up no matter what it cost me. I swore I'd never let them feel alone. Because you see, I've always been their heavyweight. I've always been the one to fight the battles they didn't feel ready to fight themselves. All it ever took was a call, and they knew I would handle it for them, no matter the time, no matter the cost. They could wave their white flag because they knew I would never back down, not for them. And not even death could change that. Somewhere along the line, I started to think about what I would say to them if I was given just one last chance. If I could gather enough heartbreak or love or sacrifice or whatever it took to get just one message across, what would I say? Throughout this entire process, I've written my feelings down at every moment, my wishes, my love, my denial, my anger. And as one final act of love, I'd planned to read these thoughts, even jarring and discombobulating and not even making sense. Because for me, that was true love. As bare and as naked as it could be, not laced in pretty words or dressed for the occasion, but written through bleary eyes at 2 a.m. with clenched fists, angry
think so.
at this reality. My true final act of love was to continue on without them, for them. That dream to read aloud my love to them, to bring meaning through pain, was the latest blow in realizing
I'm looking right
you don't
now.
deserve
Just one
it.
second.
And Kaylee and Maddie don't need it. Kaylee and Maddie have always known my love, and they would never ask me to prove it by further victimizing myself to a defendant who has shown no guilt, no remorse, no apprehension. They would say to me, "Why would you give the satisfaction of showing vulnerability now? You promised you would never back down." And for that clarity, I'm thankful. I won't stand here and give you what you want. I won't offer you tears. I won't offer you trembling. Disappointments like you thrive on pain, on fear, and on the illusion of power. And I won't feed your beast. Instead, I will call you what you are. Sociopath, psychopath, murderer. I will ask the questions that reverberate violently in my own head, so loudly that I can't think straight most any day. Some of these might be familiar, so sit up straight when I talk to you.
Tell it, girl.
How was your life right before you murdered my sisters? Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your apartment? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling at this time. Why did you choose my sisters? Before making your move, did you approach my sisters? Detail what you were thinking and feeling. Before leaving their home, is there anything else you did? How does it feel to know the only thing you failed more miserably at
Hold on, I think
than
I got
being a
it.
murderer is trying to be a rapper? Did you recently start shaving or manually pulling out your eyebrows? Why November 13th? Did you truly think your Amazon purchase was untraceable because you used a gift card? How do you find it enjoyable to stargaze with such
I
a
just
severe
got some
case
links.
of visual snow? Where is the
I just got some links, so I'm going to see if it'll open.
murder weapon? The clothes you wore that night? What did you bring into the house with you? What was the second weapon you used on
They're
Kaylee?
downloading.
What were Kaylee's last words? Please describe in detail the level of anxiety you must have felt when you heard the Bearcat pull up to your family home on December 30th, 2022. Which do you regret more? Returning to the crime scene 5 hours later, or never, ever going back to Moscow, not even once, after stalking them there for months? If you were really smart, do you think you'd be here right now? What's it like needing this much attention just to feel real? You're terrified of being ordinary, aren't you? Do you feel anything at all? Or are you exactly what you always feared? Nothing. If you're so powerful, then why are you still hiding, defendant? You see, I'm here today as me. But who are you? Let's try to take off your mask and see. You didn't create devastation. You revealed it in yourself. And that darkness you carry, that emptiness, you'll sit with it long after this is over. That is your sentence. And it was written on the wall long before you ever pled guilty. You didn't win. You just exposed yourself as the coward you are. You're a delusional, pathetic,
I got him.
hypochondriac loser who thought you were so much smarter.
I got the documents, guys. I'm opening them right now. Just give me 1 second. There's a lot. A lot. Give me 1 second, guys.
Than everybody else. Constantly scolding, turning your nose up to grammar mistakes, nitpicking and criticizing others. You wanted so badly to be different, to be special, to be better, to be deep, to be mysterious. You found yourself thinking you were better than everyone else, and you thought you could figure out the human psyche and see through it, all while tweaked out on heroin. Lurking in the shadows made you feel powerful because no one ever paid you any attention in the light. You thought you were exceptional, all because of a grade on a paper. You thought you were elite because your online IQ test from 2010 told you so. All of that effort just to seem important. It's desperate. There is a name for your condition, though. Your inflated ego just didn't allow you to see it. Wannabe. You act like no one could ever understand your mind, but the truth is you're basic. You're a textbook case of insecurity disguised as control. Your patterns are predictable. Your motives are shallow. You are not profound. You're pathetic. You aren't special or deep, not mysterious or exceptional. Don't ever get it twisted again. No one is scared of you today. No one is intimidated by you. No one is impressed by you. No one thinks that you are important. You orchestrated this like you thought you were God. Now look at you, begging a courtroom for scraps. You spent months preparing, and still all it took was my sister in a sheath. You worked so hard to seem dangerous, but real control doesn't have to prove itself. The truth is, the scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come. Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. You want the truth? Here's the one you'll hate the most. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amen.
Next is Christy Goncalves, Kaylee Goncalves.
Almost ready, guys.
Thank you, Your Honor. I never imagined having to speak to someone so devoid of humanity. For a long time, I didn't think I'd find the words low enough to meet you where you are. But now I realize this isn't about you. It's about what you've done to me, and I need you to hear it. When you murdered my daughter, Kaylee J. Goncalves, you didn't just take her life, you shattered others. You attacked what you could never be, and in doing so, you left a trail of devastation far beyond that house. You stole my peace. You've altered my every waking moment, every sleepless night, the way I view the world, people, safety, trust. It's all been changed by your cruelty.
Okay.
I no longer recognize parts.
There is so many documents. It is crazy. Let me just show you there's a lot here. There's just a lot here. Hold on, let me pop this up. This is just the first general photo, but look at all the evidence that they got here. They subpoenaed all this. There's some redactions. The Elantra, tire repair kit, Chevy Cruze, Honda Civic, Ford Explorer, Jeep Wrangler, hard drives, hard drive. I mean, so much evidence. T-Mobile Bank, DVD, blanket, curtain, van shoes, Converse shoes, wanted shoes, DM notebook, jacket, knives, cell phones, Pullman DMV, hair and fibers, Apple Watch, BK boots, CD photos, shop vac. They fucking went to town. Clear gloves, black gloves, underwear, coins, plastic baggies, coins, winter gloves, Target receipt, insurance card, registration, hotel, Circle K receipt, hiking boots, key holder, tire iron, shovel, goggles, orange vest, floor mats, receipts, H2O bottle, floor mat, floor mat, tire iron, wrench, door panel, seat cover, seat belts, headrest, seat back, fibers, pedal cover, gas pedal, vacuum filters, phone charger. Fucking for days. Fucking days, y'all. I can't even. Clear encompassing parking lot. Okay, this is video that they had. Wow. Okay. All right. Will it read this for me? Let me see if it'll read this. Let's see if it'll read it for us. No, I don't want it to. I don't want it to start there. Fuck. Hold on. Let's see here. See if it'll start right here.
81,156 hours. MPD officers responded to him. Unconscious call. ERP, later identified as BF, reported her roommate was passed out, not conscious and not breathing. As I was preparing to leave the station, OFC Nunes, who was already on scene, advised of a likely homicide and asked for additional units. While I was en route, OFC Nunes advised he had located 2 additional victims. The victims were later identified as Kaylee Goncalves, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, and Maddie Mogen. Moscow EMS was asked to stage and not respond to the scene unless requested.
It's very low. Okay. Let's see if I can fix this. Okay. Wonder if I can do it like this. See if I can do it like this. I'll turn the mic all the way up. Okay. Now let me see if you can hear it like this. There's so much to read. Good second, John. Let's see. Good second, John.
Unconscious call. ERP, later identified as BF, reported her roommate was passed out, not conscious, and not breathing. As I was preparing to leave the station, OSC Nina, who was already on scene, advised of a life risk. Homicide and asked for additional units. While I was en route, OSC Nina advised she had located two additional victims. The victims were later identified as Kaylee Goncalves, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, and Maddie Mogen. Moscow EMS was asked to stage and not respond to the scene unless requested. Upon arrival, I saw HCR.
Can you hear it now? Could you hear it? Okay. All right. I'll read it. I can't read all of it, but I can read some of it. On 11/13/2023 at approximately 1156 hours, the MPD officers responded to an unconscious call. The RP, later identified as, it's redacted, but it says BF, reported her roommate as passed out, not conscious, and not breathing. As I was prepared to leave the station, OFC Nunez was already on the scene, advised that likely homicide, and asked for additional units while I was en route. OFC Nunez advised that he was located two additional victims. The victims were later identified as Kaylee Goncalves, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, and Maddie Mogen. Of Moscow EMS asked to stage and not respond to the scene unless requested. Upon arrival, I saw, redacted, crouching near the entrance at 1122 King Road. Was obvious of emotional distress. I entered through the first floor door, which faces northward of the parking lot. I announced myself as a Moscow police officer and heard Nunez and Warner respond from upstairs. When I got to the second floor, I saw a female covered in blood in the bedroom. Guys, I want to just tell you, this is going to be very graphic. Am I muffled? Shit. Let's try this. Let me see if I can try this. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. All right. This is what we'll do. I'm going to fix this. Okay. All right. You can. Do I sound better now? Is there background noise? Just let me know, because I want to get it right. I'm fine on your end. Okay. Let's see if we can. This will sound better if I do it like this.
Daily 1,156 hours. NPD officers responded to it.
Okay. See if it sounds better now.
Daily 1,156 hours. NPD officers responded to it. Unconscious call. The RP, later identified as BF, reported her roommate was passed out, not conscious, and not breathing. As I was preparing to leave the station, OFC Nunez, who was already on scene, advised of a likely homicide, and asked for additional units. While I was en route, OFC Nunez advised he had located 2 additional victims. The victims were later identified as Kaylee J. Goncalves, Ethan J. Chapin, Xana A. Kernodle, and Madison M. Mogen. Moscow EMS was asked to stage and not respond to the scene unless requested. Upon arrival, I saw H.J. crouching near the entrance to 1122 King. Road J was in obvious emotional distress. I entered through the first floor door, which faces north towards the parking lot. I announced myself as a Moscow police officer and heard OFC Nunez and Warner respond.
Okay. There's too much to read here. So, let me see if I can do it like this. All right, let's get a new document. All right. Let's see if you can hear it like this now. If you can, then I'll do it like this. All right. That's not going to work either. Nope. Okay. All right. Low volume with earbuds, it's fine. Let's see. I wonder if it'll do it like this. You know what I could do? I could put it in AI and have it summarize all of it. But that would be it. Do you have a VT Bluetooth speaker? I don't know why it's not working like that. Let me see here. Input. Let's try this. I can turn up my volume even more. Maybe. I hope it don't blare your ears out. Let's see here. Speakers. Let's see here. You know what? Let's do this. Hold on. I know what I can do. What's a website I can copy and paste something and read to me? There's so fucking much. Okay. Choose. Let's see here. Okay, TTS reader. Let me try this. Start text player. Two seconds, guys. Just bear with me. Okay, I don't want that shit. Text to speech. English.
Did you know that Octopus, the Beatles were an English rock band formed in Liverpool in 1960? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Did you know most birds can see more colors than humans? Venus is longer than...
2 seconds, guys. I just gotta find.
Nice to meet you. Did you know most birds can see more
Okay.
colors than humans?
Let's see here. Paste. Let's see if it'll work this way. If it doesn't work this way, then we're fucked. Okay.
On November 13, 22, at approximately 1,156 hours,
Can you hear this?
RP officers responded to an unconscious call. The RP, later identified as BF, reported her roommate was passed out, not conscious, and not breathing. As I was preparing to leave the station, OFC Nunez, who was already on scene, advised of a likely homicide and asked for additional units. While I was en route, OFC Nunez advised he had located 2 additional victims. The victims were later identified as Kaylee J, Goncalves, Ethan J, Chapin, Xana A, Kernodle, and Madison M. Mogen. Moscow EMS was asked to stage and not respond to the scene unless requested.
Oops, that's too fast.
I saw HJ crouching near the entrance to 1122 King Road J was in obvious emotional distress. I entered through the first floor door, which faces north towards the parking lot. I announced myself as a Moscow police officer and heard OFC. Nunez and Warner respond from upstairs. When I got to the second floor, I saw a female covered in blood in the bedroom on the NW side of the second floor. I believe this female to be Xana. I looked inside the bedroom Xana was laying, and it was obvious an intense struggle had occurred. Xana was obviously deceased. There was blood smeared on various items in the room and all over the floor. There was blood cast off on the walls in various places, including above Xana's body. Xana was on her back on the floor in the center of the room with her head towards the west. Xana was in her underwear and a long-sleeved gray shirt. Both her shirt and underwear were covered in blood. Xana's face and body was covered in dry blood. I could see what appeared to be defensive knife wounds on Xana's hands. There was a deep gash on Xana's left.
Okay. Alright. Bear with me. Why is nothing working? Okay, I gotta read this. There was a knife gash on her, between her pointer finger and her thumb. A partially covered male was on the bed and also obviously deceased. I believe this male to be Ethan. The midsection of Ethan's body was covered with a blanket. Ethan's head wasn't visible and appeared to be between the bed and the south wall. There was some blood cast off on what appeared to be arterial blood spray above Ethan's head was located. I processed upstairs to the 3rd floor, where I met Officer Nunez and Warner. Officer Nunez and Warner advised the residence was clear of any additional people. There was a dog belonging to Kaylee in the 3rd floor west bedroom, which has access to the 3rd floor. The deck has no exterior access to the ground level. I asked Corporal Snyder to corner off the area, and Officer Nunez to start identifying the subjects were on scene when he arrived. I asked Officer Warner to start a crime scene log at the front office. At the front entrance, sorry. Once Officer Smith arrived on scene, I asked him to stand guard at the kitchen sliding door, where I later learned was ajar upon arrival. Kitchen door was ajar. That's interesting. On the third floor, I went to the southeast bedroom where Officer Nunez and Warner advised they found two females whom I believed to be Kaylee and Madison. Both females were obviously deceased. I observed Kaylee lying in the north side of the bed and Madison lying on the south side of the bed with the heads towards the east. Kaylee and Madison were covered by a pink blanket which was covered in blood. There was a large pool of blood near Kaylee's midsection. There was, God, this is hard to read. There was blood. There was a pool of blood near Kaylee's midsection. There was blood cast off on the east and north walls above Kaylee and Madison. Madison appeared to be lying up against Kaylee. Madison had what appeared to be wounds on her forearm and hands, meaning defensive wounds. Madison had a gash under her right eye, which appeared to go from the corner of the eye to the nose. Kaylee was unrecognizable as her face structure was extremely damaged. I asked Officer Nunez to close the door to the bedroom so the dog did not try to disturb the scene. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Two seconds, y'all. One second. Other than that action, MPD patrol officers left the scene as it was found. It was later confirmed with Officer Nunez that no EMS personnel entered the prior to my arrival. I contacted Captain Barrett and advised him of the situation. Officer Barrett said he would activate detectives and get more resources en route. Once Detective Sergeant Lawrence was at the scene, he requested one of the responding officers began writing a search warrant, which was assigned to Officer Nunez. Corporal Snyder was assigned to the initial photos, and they remained at the security of both entrances. I collected the dog from the third floor and took it outside. We transported the dog to the Humane Society. Nunez was interviewing a large group of individuals who were associated with the residents. He got their contact information. I assisted with a canvass of the area and was assigned the southernmost apartments at Queen Road. I contacted the residents following the apartment, whom claimed that they did not hear anything, redacted, and I attempted to contact the following apartments with no response. There is no apartment, redacted or redacted. I remained associated with the call and assisted with security until approximately 1800 hours. All right, so that is that one. All right, let's see here. This is what they call the supplement. Okay, so there's that one. Alright, this is another one. Holy shit. There's so much stuff here. Alright. Alright, here we go.
Forensic team was on scene and was preparing to begin processing the scene. OFC Smith, one of the initial responding officers to the incident, advised he would walk me through the scene. OFC Smith and I entered 1122 King Road through the bottom floor door on the north side of the building. Upon entering, I observed a small bedroom on the west side of the bottom floor. The door was ajar, and I could see a bed with covers and several other miscellaneous personal items strewn about. The room did not appear to have been occupied by anyone, as I did not see any clothes inside. I followed OFC Smith down the hall where there was a small bathroom. Next to the small bathroom to the east was what I later learned was a utility closet. This closet had a pin code style lock and was secured. I looked into the bedroom on the east end of the bottom floor, which I later learned belonged to Mia. The room had normal clothes and personal items about, but otherwise did not seem out of the ordinary. OFC Smith and I then walked upstairs to the second floor. The stairs ended in a small living room. There was a sectional style couch along the east and south wall of the room. There was also a small TV in a void on the northeast corner of the room.
Okay.
I also saw a black backpack on the floor just east of the top of the stairs. OFC Smith then directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned was Xana Kernodle's room. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached
I had it
the
too
room,
close to the
I could see
speaker.
a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. Kernodle was laying on her back with her feet facing the east and her head was facing west. Kernodle had thong-type underwear on and a gray sweatshirt. There was a large amount of blood on the floor around Kernodle as well. I could see numerous wounds on Kernodle's arms, hands, and face which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Just next to Kernodle on the west wall was a small white nightstand which appeared to have been moved as it was pushed against the wall at an odd angle. There was blood on this nightstand in various locations. The bed in Kernodle's room was situated on the south wall of the bedroom, with the head of the bed appearing to be towards the west wall. I could see a male, later identified as Ethan Chapin, laying on his back in the bed with some type of blanket pulled over his midsection. Chapin's body was at an angle on the bed so that his head was up against the south wall, and his feet were hanging off the bed on the north side. I could not clearly see the wounds to Chapin's head and neck area, but could see a very large amount of blood on the bed, as well as what appeared to be blood spatter on the wall next to Chapin's head and neck. I also noticed 2 large cuts to the back of Chapin's legs. The wounds appeared to be deep into the tissue, but were difficult to see due to Ethan's body position.
Shirley, then how about this? Get your ass out and read it yourself. There's thousands of pages. It's kind of live.
OFC Smith then took me through the house and pointed out the end bedroom, which was situated on the southeast side of the second floor of the house. And bedroom door opened to the kitchen area, as well as the staircase which led to the third floor of the house. Upon my brief visual inspection, and room was disheveled but did not appear to have any blood or evidence of a struggle within. I then followed OFC Smith upstairs to the third floor of the residence. The third floor consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee Goncalves' room. This room appeared neat and picked up. The only thing of note was the sheets on the bed were pulled back in a manner which suggested someone had been laying in the bed and then gotten out of it. OFC Smith then pointed out a small bathroom on the east side of the third floor. This bathroom shared a wall with Maddie Mogen's bedroom, which was situated on the southeast corner of the third floor. As I entered this bedroom, I could see 2 females in a single bed in the room. The bed was situated along the north wall of the bedroom, and both females, later identified as Mogen and Goncalves, were laying on their backs with their heads towards the east and their feet towards the west, which was also the direction of the only door into the room. Both Goncalves and Mogen had numerous visible stab wounds and were covered in a significant amount of blood. I also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather night sheet laying on the bed next to Mogen's right side when viewed from the door. I remained in the room for a moment and then proceeded back outside. I remained on scene and conducted several more thorough walkthroughs of the scene with the ISP forensic team, the Latta County coroner, and the Latta County prosecutor. Upon receipt of the search warrant prepared by OFC Nunez, the ISP forensic team led by Detective Sergeant Darren Gilbertson, processed the scene and collected an initial 56 pieces of evidence. The ISP team turned these items over to me that evening, and I transported them to the MPD temporary evidence storage. On the morning of November 14, 22, I booked the items into MPD evidence with the help of evidence custodian TS4. None other. I certify or declare, under penalty of perjury pursuant to the law of the state of Idaho, that the foregoing is true and correct.
Thank you, Jen. Okay. All right. That's one page. All right. So, this is about the glove. This next one.
Ford Fusion, and drove the route of the suspect vehicle. I drove 2 separate routes in front of the camera located at Ridge Road, once westbound on Lauder Avenue and then twice on Ridge Road, southbound and northbound. I advised the command post of the times of these runs and requested the video from the point of contact at Ridge Road in order to compare the color of the test vehicle to that of the suspect vehicle. Once I completed these runs, I drove to 1122 King Road and walked the route MM stated she took while on foot near the house on November 13, 22. I also parked the MPD school car on Queen Road immediately to the east of 1122 King Road in order to observe the effects of the orange-tinted street lights located in the area. The lights appeared to make the silver vehicle look tanner in color than it would under white street lights. I also walked down and spoke to OFC Tesdal, who was providing scene security at this time. I spoke to OFC Tesdal for a moment, and then began to walk back to my patrol vehicle. As I did so, I noticed a black glove laying in the parking lot approximately 25 feet from the front door. The glove was laying palm up and appeared to have been laying in that spot for a couple of days, as it did not have any snow on it. I nudged the glove with the toe of my boot and found it was frozen to the ground. I asked OFC Tesdal for rubber gloves and his flashlight. Upon further examination, there appeared to be a dark, fluid-like substance on the glove. This substance's color and consistency was consistent with dried blood. OFC Tesdal provided me with an evidence bag, and I collected the glove as evidence. The glove is a polar penguin, brand glove with a rubberized palm and fingers. This type of glove is often used for concrete work. I brought the glove back to MPD and booked it into MPD evidence for submission to the state lab. The videos of the vehicle test runs were later collected and added to the FBI video files for this case. 4. None other I certify or declare, under penalty of perjury pursuant to the law of the state of Idaho, that the foregoing is true and correct.
Okay. I have to go through all of these documents because some of them are really nothing.
Narrative. Underscore victim phone extractions case hashtag 22M09903 date December 4th, 2022 on November 15th, 2022. I contacted Dead Data Taylor of the Coeur d'Alene Police Department with a request for an agency assist. I requested assistance unlocking the cell phones of Kaylee Goncalves, Maddie Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, the victims in this case. I emailed Dead Taylor a copy of the signed warrant describing the phones as being searchable. On November 16, 2022, the phones were transported to the CDA Police Department for a forensic brute force attempt to unlock them. However, Dead Taylor stated he was not able to extract any information from the locked phones, and the phones were not supported for the brute force PIN code extraction. The phones were then returned to the Moscow Police Department on November 17, 2022. I then asked for assistance from CPT Tyson Barrett in attempting to gain PIN codes from family members to access the data on the devices. I was provided PIN codes for Mogen, Kernodle, and Chapin, which successfully unlocked the devices. The PIN codes provided for Goncalves' phone did not unlock the device. On the 3 devices I was able to unlock, I performed advanced logical extractions on the devices of the Moscow Police Department. A report for each device will be completed separately. On November 20th, 2022, I again requested the assistance of Dead Taylor in gaining a full file system extraction on the 3 unlocked devices. The phones were delivered to CDA Police Department on November 21st, 2022. On November 22nd, 2022, Dead Taylor stated he would not be able to complete the extractions. On November 23rd, 2022, I went to the CDA Police Department and picked up the phones. I then
Thank you,
took them to
Leslie.
the Post Falls Police Department and spoke with Dead Neil Urick.
Thank you, baby.
Dead Urick informed me his forensic tools would not support a full file system extraction. On November 25th, 2022, I went to the Walla Walla Police Department
Happy
and
birthday,
spoke with Dead
Marla.
Chris Rutchard. Dead Rutchard stated her forensic tools would be able to support full file system extractions on the unlocked devices, and would be able to complete limited extraction on Goncalves' locked phone. I left the phones with Dead Rutchard to be extracted. On November 28, 2022, Dead Rutchard informed me the phone extractions were complete and ready to be picked up. On November 29, 2022, Dead Justin Dean picked up the phones and returned them to the Moscow Police Department.
I'll sing you happy
I
birthday
received
later
the 4
tonight.
devices and placed them in the secure computer forensic lab. The extracted data was copied to the forensic computers and verified by hash values. An examination of the data will be completed at my earliest convenience.
A lot of these are just, they opened up an email, so I've got
Disposable camera seized and vehicle keys M1071. WatchGuard event. Not applicable additional responding officers. Not applicable case number added to WG. Not applicable to. Evidence item number 295. Kodak Power Flash Disposable Camera 3. Narrative on December 7, 2022 at approximately 1,000 hours. I was assisting with the packing and moving of personal belongings out of the residence at 1122 King Street, Captain. Barrett and I were in the process of packing items from Kaylee Goncalves' room on the 3rd floor. Inside the closet, I was removing items from a black plastic 3-drawer organizer. In the bottom drawer, I located a Kodak Power Flash disposable camera and a GoPro camera in a small black zippered pouch. I was unaware if these items had been located during any of the previous searches of the residence, so I took custody of them until I could learn that information. I advised Captain Barrett of the items and showed them to him. After completing the packing and moving of personal belongings, I brought the GoPro and the Kodak camera back to the police department. Prior to leaving the residence, I also took possession of the keys to all the vehicles belonging to the deceased. Once back at the police department, I locked the items into a temporary storage locker in the evidence processing room. I later contacted the investigative team and learned the memory card from the GoPro was seized during a previous search of the residence, so the camera itself was of no evidentiary value. I was told the Kodak disposable camera should be booked into evidence. On December 8, 2022, I met with Property Coordinator TS. S assisted me in booking the Kodak camera into evidence. I then took the vehicle keys and the GoPro camera to the city shop where the rest of the personal belongings from the 1122 King Street residence were being stored. I placed the GoPro camera into one of the boxes containing Kaylee Goncalves' belongings. I left the vehicle's keys, contained in a Ziploc bag, also in the storage area with the other belongings.
Okay. I'm trying to get ahead of this from now on, so what I can do, I'm going to do 3 of them here. And that way I should be ahead. From now on, I can just pop something in. Copy. And paste.
Removing personal items from 1122 King Road, Captain Barrett on December 7, 22 at about 0945 hours. I met with MPD Command staff members at 1122 King Road to package and remove personal items of the victims. Captain Dallinger and I packaged the belongings in Kaylee Goncalves' room. I worked along the north and west sides of the room. Captain Dallinger worked along the south and east sides. While I was packaging items, I noticed $125 in cash on the dresser, one $100 bill, one $10 bill, two $5 bill, and 5 $1 bills. Captain Dallinger and I both counted the money, and I put it in a small clutch. I placed the clutch in one of the boxes and marked the box that it had cash in it. Captain Dallinger and I both initialed the box. After all the personal items that were recoverable were packaged, we moved them to a U-Haul van and transported them to the Moscow city shop. At the shop, we unloaded the packages in a secure building. Tinder warrant Mogen case hashtag 22M09903 date, December 8, 2022 on December 6, 2022, I applied and was granted a warrant for the user subscriber information associated with the Tinder account of Maddie Mogen with the following identifiers at gmail.com and or phone number. On December 6, 2022, 2022, at approximately 1,519 hours, the warrant was served via the law enforcement portal, https://www.lert.matchgroup.com. On December 7, 2022, I received an email from Tinder stating the data requested pursuant to the warrant were available to download. I logged into the law enforcement portal and began downloading the files to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic computer lab at the Moscow Police Department. In reviewing the contents, I found no recent communications with other accounts. The newest communication appears to have happened in 2021. I completed the warrant return receipt and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latta County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. I also emailed a copy of the receipt to Tinder at Match.com, as this was the originating email address associated with the documents. Dead. Lawrence Mowry, 162-6 Thursday, December 8, 14:39 and 6 seconds Pacific Standard Time 2022 Goncalves property release. Captain Barrett on December 12, 22 at about 0830 hours. I met with the Goncalves, SG at the city shop. I had previously arranged to release Kaylee Goncalves' personal property to G, at the family's request. I unlocked the secure evidence building and we moved 22 boxes containing Kaylee's personal items that had been removed from 1122 King Road into G vehicle. There wasn't enough room in the vehicle for all the items, so G made a return trip. At that point we loaded the remaining items, 2 purple totes, a clear plastic tote, and a yellow suitcase. G signed for the items and OFC since he took a photo of his ID to attach to the form at a later date. I secured the evidence storage building and cleared. Later that morning I scanned the form and emailed it to G. I provided MPD records with the original property release form. Monday, December 12th, 12:40 and 48 seconds Pacific Standard Time 2022 Captain Barrett. On December 6th, 2022, I applied and was granted a warrant for the all information in DoorDash's possession related to sales, deliveries, purchases, and/or transactions made to 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho for the period of January 1st, 2022 to present. On December 6th, 2022, at approximately 1,535 hours, the warrant was served via email to @DoorDash.com. On December 7th, 2022, I received an email from DoorDash containing the data requested pursuant to the warrant. The files were downloaded to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic computer lab at the Moscow Police Department. I completed the warrant return receipt and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latta County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. I also emailed a copy of the receipt to DoorDash at DoorDash.com, as this was the originating email address associated with the documents.
Okay, now this one's going to be interesting. This one's an interview that they did. I had to get it through AI to do it because I couldn't copy and paste it.
On December 1st, 2022, Corporal Payne asked if I would assist with interviewing members of Ethan Chapin's circle at the Latta County Annex building. I arrived and spoke with Ethan's Redacted. I introduced myself to Redacted and told her I would be recording our conversation so I would not miss anything she said. Redacted had filled out an adult victim background questionnaire, which I reviewed before speaking with her. Redacted listed Ethan as easygoing, positive, friendly, funny, and stated he did not have any negative issues or feelings with anyone. She listed the following people as being those Ethan spent the most time with: Xana, Redacted, and Redacted. She told me the following about the people Ethan was closest to. Xana. Ethan and Xana had been dating for about 1 year and met through school. Redacted had known Xana for 1 year and met her through Ethan. She talked with Xana once during Rush but never hung out with her until Xana started dating Ethan. She partied with Xana but never hung out with her outside of that. Xana was a junior, had a lot of friends, and knew most of campus. Redacted met Xana's dad briefly during Parents' Weekend, never met Xana's sister, and never heard anything factual about Xana's mom but knew Xana did not have contact with her. Ethan would often spend time with Xana while she was at work at Mad Greek. Ethan and Xana never mentioned having weird feelings about anyone, customer or employee, at Mad Greek. Ethan never said anything negative about his relationship with Xana to her. Redacted. Redacted is Redacted and in the fraternity. Redacted does not know much about Redacted, not sure. Ethan would spend a lot of time with Redacted, and they met through the fraternity. Ethan and Redacted were very similar and would often watch football together on Sundays. Redacted lives at Redacted. Ethan would hang out with them 3, 4, or 5 days out of the week. When Ethan would be with them, they would spend time at Xana's residence, Redacted's residence, and several apartments at the Whites, Redacted. Redacted and Redacted lived in an apartment on the second floor, left side. The apartment at the Whites, Redacted, and Redacted, unknown last name, top floor right. Redacted. Redacted was one of Ethan's closest friends. He lives in Redacted at Redacted. Redacted stated he and Redacted were Ethan's closest friends. She did not see any drug use amongst any of Ethan and his friends, but said they drank a lot, which was normal for fraternity life. Redacted is dating Redacted and was the person Redacted called to come to their house the morning of the homicide. Ethan got along well with Redacted and came to their house over the past summer several times and hung out. Ethan never had any issues with them. Redacted never heard of or observed Ethan get into fights with anyone. Ethan never confided in her about having problems or frustrations with anyone. Ethan never mentioned having any issues with any of the girls who lived with Xana. Redacted spent time at Xana's house and never observed any issues between any of the roommates. Redacted said she did not know Maddie or Kaylee well and said she knew Redacted and Redacted better. She thought if Ethan had anything he needed to talk to someone about, he would likely speak with either Redacted or Xana because he saw them daily. She said Ethan was an open book and not a private person. When asked what Ethan did on Friday and Saturday, November 11th or 12th, Redacted said she was not sure what Ethan did on Friday. Redacted said on Saturday Ethan did not go to the football game or tailgate and thought he spent that time at the Whites, possibly at Redacted and Redacted's apartment. She said in the evening Ethan went with her to her formal event, which was at Hunga Dunga from $1,900 to $2,000. They drove to Hunga Dunga in their vehicle with Ethan, his date, Redacted, and Redacted with his date, Redacted. She said she and Redacted are both Redacted members. She said Hunga Dunga was rented by her sorority, and this was a private event. She told me she knew the majority of everyone who was at Hunga Dunga and nothing out of the ordinary occurred while they were at the event. She said they all left Hunga Dunga in the same car and drove to her sorority where the girls, including her, got out, went inside, and changed clothes. Ethan, Redacted, and Redacted all got back into the car and left with Ethan. Redacted did not go to the party and instead said she texted Ethan approximately 100 times telling him she did not want to go with them to the house behind, Redacted. Ethan texted her several times trying to convince her to come over to Redacted, but she did not go and eventually fell asleep around 2,200 hours. She said the party was just a normal Saturday evening party. When asked if she saw any weird comments on Ethan's social media, she said she recently logged into Ethan's Instagram account and made it private because it was public and a lot of random people were making bad comments on it. She said people were speculating this was drug-related or had something to do with the girls. She told me she did not notice the names of the people who were commenting but said they were weird accounts with just one follower. She said people were making bad comments on all of the other victims' accounts as well. When asked if the girls had any bad feelings with any of their neighbors, Redacted said she did not think so. She told me she was at Xana's house a lot on the weekends and said they would often get noise complaints. She said she was present for 2 of the noise complaints. She thought the person making the complaint lived in the house behind 1122 King Road, but was not certain. She told me she never witnessed any retaliation from any of the neighbors. I asked if Xana and her roommates let everyone who lived around them inside, and she said she did not know. I thanked Redacted for speaking with me and told her if she thought of anything else to let us know. My conversation with Redacted was recorded and is copied onto DVD, which I have booked into MPD evidence.
Okay, this is interesting. Right here. This is about some evidence they took out of the house.
Reviewed. Tuesday, December 13th, 14:02 and 55 seconds Pacific Standard Time 2022. Corporal Corbin Smith 171. Narrative. Search
Probably
warrant
right,
for
Mallory.
Redacted, Queen Road, Redacted, Part 2 to 157. Watchguard event, no. Additional responding officers, NA. Case number added to WG, NA. 2. Evidence collected. Item 261, blood swab. Item 262, blood swab. Item 263, blood swab. Item 264, blood swab. 3. Narrative. On November 23, 22, I applied for and was granted a search warrant for Redacted, Queen Road, the residence of Redacted. The warrant was based off the following information. OFC House and I responded to Redacted, Queen Road at approximately 1,000 hours on November 15, 22. We walked on the common walkway in front of the door to the apartment and observed the exterior of the door. The area around the door had numerous spots of dried fluid that appeared to be rust drops from a metal roof above the apartment's door. These drops were mainly on the wall next to the door frame, not on the frame itself. I observed what appeared to be a different fluid spot on the door approximately 8 inches up from the bottom of the door under the doorknob. I also noticed the deadbolt plating was clean, polished silver, and had no dirt on it. I walked away from the door in order to conduct an interview with a possible witness. OFC House and several members of the ISP Forensics Unit, including Detective Hugh Powell, walked back to Redacted Queen Road. I met back up with OFC House and Detective Powell a short time later, and they told me they believed the spot of dried fluid on the door displayed similar characteristics to that of dried blood. Detective Powell stated the spot displayed a cracking texture common when blood dries on a surface. The spot also displayed a similar drop pattern to the blood spots found on the banister wall and the stairwell wall to the ground floor, which I observed inside 1122 King Road. OFC House also told me he looked at several other doorknobs and deadbolt plates on doors in the same apartment complex, all of which had a fine layer of dust. OFC House confirmed, Redacted, S door did not have the same layer of dust, as though it had been cleaned off. I returned to MPD and was notified by Detective Vargas, who was reviewing security camera footage provided by the owners of Linda Lane, of possible footage of someone walking by the cameras at 3:50 hours on November 13, 22. I watched the film with Detective Vargas. The cameras show the parking lot of Redacted, Linda Lane, situated directly south of Redacted, Queen Road. The frame captures a portion of the Redacted, Queen Road parking lot in front of Redacted, but does not capture the apartments themselves. The area of Redacted, Queen Road is much darker than Linda Lane. The video is infrared and displayed in black and white. At approximately 3:50 hours on November 13, 22, a figure clad in dark clothing can be seen walking from the building that houses Redacted, Queen Road. The figure walks west out of the parking lot and leaves the frame as it enters the sidewalk area between the two apartment buildings at Redacted, Queen Road. The terminus of this sidewalk is immediately east of 1122 King Road. The figure is not captured by any further cameras. Based on the above, MPD and ISP officers served a search warrant on the exterior of the front door to Redacted, Queen Road. Access to the residence per this search warrant was granted only if a presumptive positive test for blood was found on the exterior door. Nothing was found during the search, and the warrant was returned. On November 23, 22, MPD Officer Morris was contacted by Redacted, a maintenance worker for Redacted, which manages Redacted, Queen Road. Redacted told OFC Morris he conducted a routine maintenance order on Redacted, Queen Road on November 22, 22 and discovered something of note. I had OFC Morris call Redacted and place him on speakerphone so I could talk to him. I asked Redacted to tell me what he found. He told me he and another maintenance worker entered the apartment on November 22, 22 to check on a water quality complaint made by the tenant. Both men checked the kitchen and did not notice any issues. Redacted said he entered the only bathroom in the residence and began to inspect the drain when the other maintenance worker advised there appeared to be blood on the shower curtain. Redacted looked and discovered what appeared to be two separate smudge marks on the shower curtain which appeared to be dried blood. He described the smudges as 1 inch by 1 inch. Redacted said he then noticed another smudge of what appeared to be dried blood on the toilet flusher handle. He added there appeared to be a pattern of dried blood near the light switch on the interior wall of the bathroom. I asked Redacted to describe the marks. He said they appeared reddish-brown in color and added, "I've seen dried blood before, and these look similar." Redacted stated the only thing he did in the restroom was flush the toilet to check the water quality. He said the toilet appeared clean but became clogged when he flushed it. He said it was odd the toilet clogged. He and his counterpart then left the apartment. I asked Redacted if anyone else had access to the apartment between when he left and the current time. He said no. I served the search warrant with ISP investigators Jeff Talbot, Hugh Powell, and Jake Schweik. We discovered the blood smears and spots in the locations described. In addition, there were more blood spatter spots on the wall in the entryway into the living room. Samples were collected, 94 in total, and ISP dead. Talbot took photos of the residence. Upon completion, I left the required paperwork on the couch in the living room and Detective Talbot took a photo of it. All units cleared without further incident. The search warrant was returned on December 4th, 22. 4. Other. None. I certify, or declare, under penalty of perjury pursuant to the law of the state of Idaho, that the foregoing is true and correct. CPL Payne number 157. Tuesday, December 13th, 13:06 and 24 seconds Pacific Standard Time 2022. Reviewed. Tuesday, December 13th, 14:07 and 34 seconds Pacific Standard Time 2022. Corporal Corbin Smith number 171.
Okay, guys. What I am doing right now is, give me 2 seconds. I'm actually doing a community post, and I am going to, so you can be able to download them yourself, because there is so many files. It is absolutely incredible how many files it's going to be. It is quite a bit. Did I do 150? 150. Okay, 151 and 200. There is quite a bit. And give me 2 seconds. And I will post that right here. Did I do the 300? Okay, I did the 300. 301 and 314. Because I have another live I have to do here shortly, and I'll make all these available on audio. Here we go. All right. I just dropped it. I will drop it here in chat. Sometimes it does. It posts twice. So what I'm going to do is I just dropped it there. If you want to go through those to give the one thumbprint. Well, I'm going to make it all read out, and I'll just do a massive ass video. It might have to do several videos. So you can check on that. Thank you all so much for joining me. I will be back here in just 45 minutes. My pleasure. My pleasure. Maybe I can help, honey. I'll be back in about 45 minutes. We're going to be talking about Lily and Jack Sullivan. When you download that, guys, when you download that, it might take, when you click on that link, it's going to download. It's going to start downloading. It may take a minute to download. It may just not do anything for a second, and then it'll start downloading generally. Let me just make sure. Give me 1 second. Sure it's downloading on my end. Let me make sure the links are working before I go. Okay, so this is what I'll do. Damn thing's not working. This is what I'll do. I'll do it this way. And I know it'll work this way. Yeah, a lot of people were saying they're having a hard time for it to load. No, yeah. It's loading. Yeah. So what it does is it's just a blank screen. It'll just be a black screen, and then it takes a while depending on how fast your internet is, and then it'll start downloading in your download section. Thank you, Tina. That's what I'm here for, babe. So that's what it'll do. And if that doesn't work, then what I'll do is this. Right here. I'll add another link. If that doesn't work, I'll edit this. Okay. Alright, guys. So just check back. Yeah, it'll be a black screen. Give it time, and it will go to your download section, and it'll start downloading. They downloaded for you? Okay. Yeah. You can also do it from like here. There you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, just give it time. It will download, I promise. Thank you, butterflies. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. I'll see you guys here in just a little bit. Much love. Thank you. Bye-bye.